Digital Health Institute for Transformation welcomes you to the DHIT Frequency Podcast.
Welcome DHIT community. You're here with your host, Michael Levy, on the DHIT Frequency, where we get to be real, be raw, and be righteous with our community leaders, our game changers, our believers, our doers, like the one I'm sitting next to, Yonnie Butler, a good friend of mine, a colleague, North Carolina native, the executive director of the Biotechnology Center at Alamance Community College that's doing some wonderful stuff we're going to be hearing about here in a moment. All right, Yonnie, North Carolina native. You've really kind of seen your way around the state from being a chemist at LabCorp in your early days to running and leading efforts at the Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center Innovations and North Carolina Biotechnology Center, doing business development and bringing value across the state through life sciences, et cetera. And now you're running the Biotech Center for Alamance Community College and driving value into not just the community and the county, but the rest of the state. Why do you do it? What burns inside of you? And how do you spend that energy every day?
Well, thanks for having me, Michael. So for me, it's about community. It's about family. It's about doing good and helping others, helping lift others up. So for me, when I worked at Duke, helping to create the informatics program there, to working at Wake Forest, working with creating new innovations and partnerships across the globe with the resources there, to now Alamance County. Alamance County is my home. That's where I was born. My parents were born. And we still live there. So it's a way for me at this part of my career to give back and to help my home community. So sure, it'd be great to go to another part of the globe or go up to Boston or the Bay Area and make tons of money. But for me, money's not the thing that really trips my trigger. It's really about family and connections and giving back. And I feel like at Alamance Community College, it's a chance to give back and really help the community.
As a reason to get up, no doubt about that. And directing that energy to family is so aligned and so ingrained in our fiber. Family first, being oriented to mission, working with a community for the community is a wonderful reason to get up in the morning, and it makes falling asleep at night even easier. Yeah. So let me ask you this. You've been in a position throughout your career to connect many different stakeholders together to create value, to generate new value propositions to our world through new buildings, new education services, new innovations. What are you most proud of, and what relationships out of that did you have to bring together to drive an effort, an initiative?
A couple of examples come to mind related to the work at the community college. One is a young man who had grown up in this area, and he had gone to NC State, great school. But what he found when he went there to study IT, he was lost in the sea of students. And he really didn't find his place, and he struggled. Although he was mentoring upperclassmen there because of his knowledge, he just didn't find his place. So this young man came to the community college, and while he was there, I had worked with our internal stakeholders, and we had put together a collaboration with IBM, one of only 15 colleges, not community colleges, but colleges across the U.S. to be invited to be part of this New Collar initiative with IBM. And this young man is really our poster child for the success of what this program can be and where someone can be at any given time, but where they can go. So this young man took part in the program. He worked with IBM. He earned the digital merit badges, if you will, much like Boy Scouts, in addition to our program. While he was in the program, he became an intern at IBM. He was the first and is the first intern ever in IBM's history to be named on a patent. Wow. Within 6 months of starting the program at IBM, he went from intern, patent, to being hired, to being promoted, and now he's leading his own team, all in the span of a year's time. So it's success stories like that. It's success stories like a 16-year-old man who comes to the college. He's homeschooled. He graduates with the equivalent of a high school degree as well as a degree from the community college at age 16 now, and is accepted at MIT. That was 2 years ago. We had another young man this year who's our first student from the community college that has been accepted at Duke University. So having success stories like that really goes to show how community colleges, not just ours, but all community colleges, are much like digital technology and the opportunities that we have today to be flexible, to be nimble, and really take us in exciting new directions.
Well, I love that. I mean, that you're really hitting on, I think, some of the data points that are framing, our change here in the 21st century. What does the future hold for us when 60+% of the jobs that will be in the future don't exist today? How do we train? How do we educate? How do we build for the future when the future is so ambiguous? And you have institutional leadership and/or bureaucratic challenges that are resistant to change, risk adverse to change, in a lot of cases inhibit change to occur. And you're in these systems daily. You've been in these systems for 30 years, changing the game and constantly bringing the new.
We'll take a quick break. When we're back, a surprising global opportunity that's a real game changer. Digital Health Institute for Transformation celebrates status quo challengers. We encourage risk-taking, we welcome change, and we like to share. So register now for DHIT's 2019 Summit, Digital Health 360, Accelerating the Future of Health. It's a full day of expert panel discussions, workshops, and networking. November 13th. Join us. Sign up today at dhitglobal.org. And now back to Michael.
One of the key motivating factors for this podcast and the channel that we're producing here at DHIT is to ensure we capture all of the game changers and all of those status quo challengers, the ones that have been building futures now, and together build the future. Because it's so ambiguous, it gives us the opportunity to design it ourselves and design it with each other. When you think about the future, Yonnie, you think about what you're doing today, and you think about the ambiguity of the world in the future, what is your why that gives you at least a smile of it being all worth it?
Well, one of the things we're working on is thanks to the taxpayers and the voters in Alamance County, we passed a bond referendum in November that provides a little over $39 million for the college. And of those funds, we're starting the process. We'll actually be meeting with the designers next week to build a $9 million Biotechnology Center of Excellence building that will be situated right alongside the interstate system, Interstates 40 and 85 there in Graham in Alamance County. So it's our opportunity to create a visible landmark, a beacon, a gateway to not only the college, but to Alamance County. And if you think about it, it's really an opportunity for us not only to educate students, not only to train workforce, but to also provide an element of economic development for the county. So much like when people are traveling along the interstate today and you mention a specific city or town, they don't know where that is. They're looking for landmarks. So folks traveling up and down the interstate through Alamance County typically think of the Tanger outlets in Mebane as a landmark, and on the western part of the county, the Red Oak Brewery. So we want to become a landmark so people realize Alamance Community College. And another key element is, as we think about science, biotechnology, and life sciences, we in Alamance County are the heart of a 100-mile biotech corridor that stretches between Winston-Salem and Raleigh. So we are perfectly suited. So for us, it's about not only building the building, but bringing together the various stakeholders, the various community leaders, and others to explore opportunities, not just within the confines of Alamance County.
Right on, rock on. So to that point, because we have a global audience, what would you say to our global neighbors across the world as it relates to Alamance County and Alamance Community College?
As you well know from your experience and how you've been an entrepreneur in this space, it's about looking for opportunities, looking for new collaborations and partnerships. So one of the ones that came together that really puts Alamance Community College and our biotech program on a global scale is there is a textile company, an international textile company that's headquartered in Israel. and they have a U.S. operation located in the western part of North Carolina. The company was having a great deal of difficulty helping to design and develop a new textile healthcare product. They had reached out to some of the other larger four-year institutions, and there were too many barriers to entry. Who owns IP, who owns what type of royalty.
They're not going to live in
status.
an ambiguous narrative, that's for sure.
And what happened is they came to us, and we brought them in to say, hey, our students, we're not looking to charge you for this. We're looking to get real-world experiences for our students where it's a hands-on learning opportunity for them. Our students had the great opportunity to help the company not only help develop, test, and launch a new international healthcare product. Unheard of if you think about a small community college here in the heart of North Carolina. But that's a perfect example of how a community college like ours or others can really make a change on a global basis.
Undoubtedly. I mean, the hub that you're creating for the community, not just from an educational perspective, but from a healthcare outcomes perspective, from an economic development perspective, you're really a shining star in the community, and I think a representation of what the community college and what the community pharmacy, and what the community local anchors, what they mean to the well-being of the community, and how they can take a global position today as much as any multinational or any 800-pound gorilla behemoth can. A Alamance Community College, like a Michael Levy in his dorm room, if you will, could launch a company that reaches global lengths and creates impact at scale. And you're an example, Alamance Community College an example of that. We at DHIT are an example of the collection of all of those independent efforts across our state and our community, ensuring that we shine a light on them, ensuring that we talk about our experiences and our stories with our heart forward and our morals and our ethics right there next to, ensuring that we drive the future in a designed respect for our people, for our communities. So I appreciate, Yonnie, your partnership. I appreciate you opening yourself up to us today. If there's one thing you could leave us with, if there's one thing you could share that those who won't attend our summit in November 13th specifically, where you'll be also participating with DHIT, what would you share with them? One takeaway to share with our community.
Well, it's really that anybody, anyone, any student can make a difference. Whether it's a student at Alamance Community College or a student like I worked with at Duke, coming to the program, the informatics program that we built, the MMCI program, from Tanzania. A student who lives in a community where they don't have much in the way of developed infrastructure, and may have to walk several hours to go to see if a doctor is available to see them. But what they do have, what we all have, is the access to technology. And that technology, in his case, was a cell phone. So as a physician who was passionate about him changing the world and what he can do in his community, in his world, it's about coming here and learning how to apply that technology, which is really no different than what we're trying to do at Alamance Community College. And the reason that I'm there, it's all about helping to improve the condition, make people better, make the situation better, improve the workforce opportunities for the residents of Alamance County, to bring new change to that Israeli healthcare company, provide opportunity for real-world examples and opportunities for our students to learn. So it's, at the end of the day, it's all about making our world better and looking for those opportunities and those passionate people like yourself and what you're doing with DHIT to pull together those various stakeholders and really make a change.
All right, Yonnie, at this part in the program, and we like to ask our guests, what do they imagine? If you had a opportunity to share with the community an imagine if vision, what would that be? What's your imagine?
Well, for us at Alamance Community College, it ties into the Biotech Center of Excellence. So for us, it starts with the building itself, and that building is going to be a building, say, 5-10 years from now, that will be flexible enough to accommodate new technologies, new types of workforce needs, new visions that we may not even know about today. So we imagine a building that will not only train the citizens of Alamance County, but will also bring in entrepreneurs from other local universities that are creating new technologies, new opportunities, new companies, new visions, and to help provide a place for them to grow and develop those ideas into real companies, and to set down roots, hopefully in Alamance County, where they can grow these companies and become an economic development driver for the county, so that we're really helping not only transform the college, but we're transforming our community, our county, and our world, because as we talked earlier, students in a community college really can do great things with global companies like IBM or Avgal International, Siemens Healthcare, other companies that we're working with to really change our world.
That is what is up, Yonnie. I appreciate it. We are a community of believers, of decent individuals who do good. But stories like that, efforts like that, us banding together and compiling that's what's going to build the future. And we'll end on that note, Yonnie. I really appreciate it. Thanks again, DHIT community, for tuning in to the DHIT Frequency. I'm your host, Michael Levy. I'm here with Yonnie Butler, game changer, status quo challenger, good friend and colleague. Thank you.
Click on dhitglobal.org and subscribe to all of the DHIT Frequency podcasts. Sign up for a weekly newsletter and register for the next DHIT Happy Hour at dhitglobal.org. Next week, tune into DHIT Frequency and meet Anika Gardenhire. She envisions using technology as a way to create a stronger human focus on patient care.